Hi there, welcome to another exciting segment of Easy Eats. I'm Chef Jamie, and today here in overcast Allentown we are going to do Pico de Gallo. And you may say, what is Pico de Gallo? Pico de Gallo in Spanish is beak of the rooster. So they would take their fingers like the beak. It has nothing to do with chicken, it's nothing to do with animals, but they would take it and eat it with their fingers like the beak of a rooster. So Pico de Gallo. The history of food is so awesome, so awesome. It came from the Aztecs, and it was discovered, it was introduced by Bernardino Saragon, who was doing documentary on Aztec food culture. And he's the one that was introduced to it, and so that's where Pico de Gallo came from. Some people say it was Spanish. Now, Pico de Gallo and salsa are different because salsa has roasted tomatoes. Pico de Gallo has fresh Roma tomatoes, and that's the difference. So it's more light, refreshing, not as wet as salsa. So we're going to show you. I have the recipe in the description. Now everybody, again, makes Pico de Gallo different. There is a standard classic recipe, and that is without the jicama. Now I put jicama in mine, so it calls for obviously tomatoes diced, jalapeno, salt, pepper, lime juice, and cilantro. Pretty much an onion, and that's it. But in my recipe, or Easy Eats recipe, I add jicama. Jicama it's a Mexican potato. They call it a Mexican turnip. It's Central America. It's eaten as street food with lime juice and chili powder on it, and they eat it raw. It's very good. It's like it's got the texture of a pear potato, but it doesn't have the sweetness, and it absorbs any flavor that it goes into, and it also can be put into stews, and it'll stay crunchy. So it gives it that crunch that I feel it needs in the pico. So let's get started. So the recipe, I have the tomato, the Roma tomato. I've already done the recipe for speed of service. This takes about 15 minutes to make at the most. So I'm going to take my Roma tomato and I'm going to slice the bottom off. So let's just talk real quick. I have my trash can over here. I just want everybody to be set with your mise en place. I have my cutting board with the wet towel underneath so it doesn't slide. And I have different types of knife. It takes a very sharp knife to cut a tomato. And what I mean by that is if you flip it over and you go to cut the skin, if it doesn't go through, your knife is dull, or if it slips. So let's get cutting here. So I'm going to cut this up into quarters, quarter-inch pieces, dice it. Very simple. The knife is very sharp, cuts right through the skin. If it slips on the skin, sharpen your knife. Okay, so that's basically what you want to do with these. And I'm going to throw this right into the pile that I have already started. The recipe, I have some cut up. It's 3.5 cups of diced tomatoes, and it says 6 Roma, but I measured it out and it's 3.5 cups. 1 jalapeno, I already did the half. Make sure you deseed it with a glove on, and clean it out because it will heat your hands up. They say to wear a glove on it because if you touch anything later, it will burn. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can add a habanero to it. So a habanero will light your fire. I'm not that crazy, but these are all fresh out of the garden. All this food is right out of the garden. The jicama I bought, but it's right out of the garden. So there's your jalapeno. Now jicama kind of weird. It's very dense. Sometimes difficult to peel. So you want to peel it down. Okay, I'll do this quick because of service. And dice it up. I know it's boring, but Jicama is one of those things that you need to learn because it's very tough. Reminds me of an elephant toenail because it's got really hard skin and it's very dense. Boy, is it's delicious. It's delicious. It takes on whatever you're doing. So I'm going to quickly cut this up, make it nice and flat, get rid of this little piece, and I'm going to dice this right up. And this gives it a really nice crunch. It's a very underutilized vegetable. Actually, it's a root vegetable, so a little information for you there. It's nice talking about history of food. I don't know where it all comes from. So, I'm going to quickly dice this up. Keep my fingers out of the way. Nice sharp knife is always a pleasure. Get through this. Go to the next. And this will be the end of the, well, I got to dice an onion real quick, but that just takes a second. Because it's nice to see it being done so that you can repeat it and know how to do it. So there's no mistakes on how to dice an onion properly. So this is going to give us, this is like a medium to large jicama. And let's see what it gives us for yield. 1 cup, 2 cup, I would say 3 cups. So we're up to 3 cups, we're up to 6 cups of product already. There's 3 cups and a little bit. But when this gets the love of the lime juice, salt and pepper, and cilantro, man, is it good. Alright, I'm going to dice an onion real quick. Pop the top, you won't cry. No onion, no cry. Like that? So, trash can right there. I should have been a singer. So we're going to take it long ways. We're going to slice it, come back the other way. Sharp knife, very, very important. It makes it for a breeze. I'll set that for aside. I'm going to come in. It makes it so easy to do. And then bam. Diced onion right before your eyes. Just the size. The size of the onion will diced is the size that you cut. When you make your initial cuts, it'll come out that size. So it's just that easy. So we got the onion. That was painless. We're going to put the onion. Let's do a yield on that too, just for giggles. 1, 2. So we're up to 9 cups for a yield. It's just nice to see what you're getting out of it because you want to serve. This is for a lot. This is for like 12, 14, 25, depending on how much they like it. Okay, so we did that. We got everything set. Just the love of the cilantro. So again, wash the cilantro, hold it tight, bunch it up, chiffonade it as close as you can so that you don't have to chop it so much when you're done. Again, I use the stems for the flavor. A lot of chefs will balk at me for not taking the leaves off. I'll set this aside. And And then I'll chop this up. If you suck on a stem of cilantro, it's pretty awesome. So we're going to chop this up nice and neat. We're almost done. Put that in there. That was about 1.5 cups. I should have measured it. My bad. We'll say 1.5 cups. Now if you like cilantro, add more. If you don't put any in, put partially in, but the cilantro is really going to make it. So then I have my lemon or lime juice, and I'm going to do 1 whole lime, and then salt and pepper right here. You always have your salt and pepper out. Two teaspoons, and then we're going to mix it up. My trusty spoon or a pair of tongs. Look at this love. You can put garlic in it. Okay? I prefer to leave the garlic out, just because it's got a lot of other flavors going on. The classic recipe does call for garlic, and that garlic will be in the recipe. And then all we do is taste, adjust. Needs a little bit more lime juice. Boy, is that refreshing. And a tad more salt and pepper. Boy, those jalapenos are bumping, popping. Okay, so now what do I eat this with? Is the next question. I knew that you were going to ask that. So we have the Pico de Gallo. Now you can eat it with CROSTINI'S or tortilla chips, or let me show you how to make a crostini real quick. So you're going to take your bread, you're going to slice it paper thin. It's great on top of protein, it's great on top of fish, it's great on top of a salad. So you're going to cut your bread paper thin, you're going to put it onto a baker's half sheet pan, you're going to take your oil, you're going to spray the pan, EVOO. You're going to put your CROSTINI'S down, or your baguette slices, spray it again. It's nice to have a sprayer. A little salt and pepper. In the oven, 375 degrees for 10 minutes. And you're left with this morsel of love. So we're going to try it on a crostini. Freaking awesome. So, I hope you enjoyed how to make Pico de Gallo. And this is Chef Jamie saying good day, and simplicity, honestly, awesome food. Thanks.